G'day, mate, and welcome back to Satisfactory with me, Jenny. Today, it's going to be another design episode. Another episode of, well, removing everything from over there and getting it all moved over here. Because in our last episode, we covered our design principles when it came to, well, blueprints and blueprint machines. But also, well, we covered a side mission, a side quest, was to cover the difference between the different blueprint machines. I need my coffee cup. I need my design cup. Yes, design cup. We also covered the differences in between the blueprint machine Mark 1 and Mark 3, which is what I'm going to be using for, well, more of my blueprints than not. And if we just jump to fly mode real quick, we can see that, well, this is the blueprint designer Mark 1, which I managed to fit a whopping six smelters each side. Each one of these would be doing 30 ores, that's 30, 60, 90, 180. But, well, I want to cover the well, I want to use, it's probably more accurate, the smelter in a 6x6. Yeah, I want to use, the guy she said not to worry about. Yep. I want to use the bigger and the better smelters. So what I want to do today is I want to talk through, well, we've covered the design principles I use when making blueprints. I want to actually, well, rough blueprint out exactly where things are going to go, which means I want to ask a very important question. A very important question before we get into the meat and the guts of today's episode, and that is, well, can I borrow a like? I just like to borrow a like. I like to borrow a like early in the video. Not happy with the video, did enjoy the video, well, please don't ask me for the blueprints, because they're all going to be available on my Discord server, and you'll be able to jump on there anytime and grab any one of these blueprints. But this particular blueprint, well, same story with the other smelters, handles 30 ore each, but that's 30, 60, 90. Cool, we're going to remove you. 30, 60, 90, remove you. 30, 60, 90, remove you. And if we do a calculator really quickly, 90 multiplied by 3 of them is 90. Multiplied by 3 of them is 270. So this is designed to take in a full Mark 3 belt. Now, you might be saying to me, but Jenny, none of the miners output 270. They all output 240 if they're on a pure node and you're using a Mark 2 miner. And I would say, yes, this is why these have a switch. If you turn it off, it now does 240. Because conveniently, if we take, well, 270, can I do that in brackets? Do you do order of operations? I hope you do. Minus 30. Look, magic, 240. But it means it's ready to go to the next scale. It's ready that when we get bigger and better, well, bigger and better belts, when we start processing more material, when we can start load balancing belts and doing all sorts of things, overclocking smelters, a whole bunch of things we're already set up for, well, 270 lines, or you can just delete the last one off the line if you really prefer. So what I want to do is I want to talk about, well, today's plans, today's rough plans, and I need to pack you up, please. Clear. Cool. Close window. Why does escape not close the windows? Clear. Can I remove you? Can I remove you? Can I remove you in blueprint mode, please? All of that. Can I clear that? And also remove that. All right. So, can I also remove you? Yeah, that's got a little bit of space. All right, so today, design principles. Design principles, we have everything over there currently. Being, let's get a handcrafting table. Handcrafting table. So we talk recipes. We have over there in the original messy base, the one that was built on, you know, that nasty stuff called grass, that I prefer not to use in the future, not see in the future, rather than nice platforms, nice bit of concrete. We have iron plates automated. We have iron rods automated. We have screws automated. We have reinforced iron plates automated. We have modular frames sort of automated. They're fed from the box, but it's close enough. We have copper sheets. We have steel beams. We have steel pipe. I don't have encased industrial beams. I do have wire. I do have cable. I do have quick wire, sort of. Quick wire is right there at the Caterium node. It doesn't actually leave the Caterium node and go that way because, well, it realistically needs to come this way. I moved too far from the crafting bench. Blah, 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 blah. What else do we have over there? We have, walk closely so you can reach it. I have technically reanimated sand is over there as well. We also obviously have concrete, but we sort of have concrete here in vast scales. We have quartz crystals, we have silica, we have solid biofuel, not that anybody cares. We have rotors, and that's about it. That's about it that we have automated over there. So I want to automate all that and probably an awful lot more over here. In fact, ma'am. Nope. Caterium, nope. Mycelia, nope. Quartz, nope. Sulfur, nope. Actually, no, we're not going to unlock anything in the MAM. So everything that we're talking about is going to be happening right here. So what I want to do is, I already have copper. We spoke about copper last episode. It is right there. It's a pure node, which means I have 240. Also iron, very quickly. Hi. We have 3 pure nodes right here. This is coming in here, and at the moment, well, is going through a smelter block and going into a giant trash bin to make sure the smelter blocks work. And this is the old style. This is with the 6 and 6. Yes, 30, 60, 90, 30, 60, 90, 30, 60, 90, 30, 60, 90, which is 90 times 4, which is 360. Maybe this is better in the overall like later game, but for early game, you know, what we have, I think I'm happy with. So what I want to do, blueprints, rough design principles right here. We're going to put in a smelter. Hopefully I get this the right way around on the first try. No, that would be the wrong way around. I want to leave a bit of a gap, probably about 3 tiles, and 3 tiles is going to be about there. Roughly. All I'm doing is I'm talking you through the design highlights, because you really don't want to watch me redesign and rebuild the whole base from scratch. So you would be roughly about there. Okay, with you being roughly about there, I would need logistics. I need a conveyor belt. It's going to come up. It's going to face that way. And, oh, well, the input's over there. Well, to start with, this and this would line up with one another. Step number 1. Step number 2 is all the copper ingots would come out over here. I'd have to sell the recipes, all that sort of stuff. But copper goes into a couple of things. Copper goes into you. Copper goes into wire. Goes into an awful lot of wire. Also goes into cable. Also goes into pipes. Sorry, copper sheets they're called, right? Copper sheets. So that's the 3 places copper goes. So what I want to do is I want to get that part of the automation, well, designed out, because that's what we're doing right now. I'm going to end up ripping out all of this and reloading the game, well, without the advanced game mode settings on, so I don't have to worry about resource costs or anything like that. And, well, build it properly. But you'll output 240 if I'm feeding in 240. You'll output 240 ingots, assuming I'm putting in 240 ore. I want to have about a 3 tile gap. Can you just lock there? This is the problem. I can't actually see my gaps and my distances when moving around on ground. So this is why there's a lot of time. An awful lot of time goes into exactly where a blueprint goes, exactly where it needs, what it needs to hook up to, so on and so forth. But the core concept is you come out. You face that way. You hopefully line up roughly with that. You do. Okay, you go into there. Okay. So this set would be just doing copper wire. Okay, copper wire is a straight 1-to-1 recipe, nothing too complicated. That's ingots. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so this blueprint, no, hang on. Wire outputs 30, 60, 90. No, that's fine. All right, so you would do wire. Nice and simple. Okay, blueprints. Can I have another? No, not the double assemblers. I want the normal assemblers. The ones we just put down. Constructors, rather. They're called assemblers. That's the blueprint I wrote assemblers. Turns out you can't rename a blueprint. Things I found out today. Okay, can I hit you, hold there? Are you facing the right way? That is the wrong way round. And I can't rotate you now. Rotate. And come on, can I have that line that says I'm lined up with the other blueprint, please? Thank you. All right. So you would go there. We would put a splitter here. And then feed this into that guy. Cool. Now, you might be telling me, JD, hang on, you're going to use 15 copper ingots. That's 15, that's 30, that's 60, that's 15, 30, 60, 90, 180 on just wire. And then if you come over here and you set this to do copper sheets, well, this is going to use another 20, 40, 60, 120, 240. You don't produce that much copper ingots in this build. I'll be like, yeah, 100%. Am I going to use that much wire per second, per minute, per whatever? Probably not. And I don't need a system that is perfectly ratioed one to another for right now, because at the moment we're going to be bringing in copper ore to make copper ingots. But in the future, we're going to have different recipes we can unlock. A whole lot of different recipes we're going to unlock. We do have the ability to make copper ingots using copper ore and iron, or and Caterium, and water, like washed copper. I think it's called washed copper. Happens at a refinery, and that is a much more efficient recipe. Sure, it takes up a whole lot of space and a whole lot of room. Also needs water. Conveniently, we have a whole lot of space, a whole lot of room, and a whole lot of water, all very localized. So I'm really building the base with no hard commitments to ratios or anything at this stage. Later on, don't get me wrong, we will build dedicated builds to a dedicated ratio to do dedicated things. But for right now, because we're rapidly unlocking, I lost it. Can I get a, ma'am? Oh. Because I am, hard drive library. Because I am, well, there's an alternative recipe for wire right there. Copper alloy, that's copper and iron to give you copper ingots. Steamed copper sheets. You know, if we end up using a whole bunch of copper sheets, which honestly you do when you start getting into pipes, which that's not for quite some time yet, that's the point where, well, I've unlocked refineries, because refineries go with pipes and pipes go with this recipe. So this is the point where I might look at changing over what I'm using to make sheets, copper sheets now, for this recipe instead, because it's less copper ingots in, and it also, opening codex, you make one, whereas this alternative we were looking at makes 3. No, that one. Steam copper sheets. This makes 3. So it's a lot more copper sheets per minute, a rate of, well, 22 per minute compared to 10 per minute. Same with wet concrete. Like, I don't need extra concrete. Well, I technically do need concrete because we keep spending it like there's no tomorrow. But I might not need more concrete for our current production lines. But because we're in the process of compacted coal, and I prefer to use compacted coal for fuel, and sulfur is not a plentiful, but molded steel. So 3 ingots for 2 pipes, compared to 5 ingots for 5 pipes. That's now a 1 for 1, but it needs concrete. Conveniently, I happen to have a lot of concrete over here. We'll come back to that one. So this gives me copper sheets. This gives me wire. The only other blueprint I need to put down to cover our copper needs is going to be the double constructor. Nope, that's the little version. Oh, actually, no, it's sideways. 6 double constructor. It was the little version. And you have output that side. Where is my input? Oh no, that was the input. I thought you went up and over the top. Double. Okay, that's double. That's only 4 of them. Yeah, it looks like I don't have, see, this is the problem. I've gone and made the blueprints, but I just have to go to a different save to make the blueprints to then iron out the blueprints, and then I don't always go and test them straight away. I work on the function that they'll probably work. If not, I have ability to go change them and fix them, that I don't always save them properly. But, or I do save them and I maybe forget to transfer them. Anyway, the point is, right here, we would do a double constructor setup, which is going to be in that direction. And you would be, in our case, would be, input is over here. You would do wire, you're going to be making 30 wire. You'd be doing cable, you'd need 60 wire, but we're just going to clock you to 50% speed. And this will give us cable, and then cable's going to go into a box. So, this is what I want to do. I want to set up copper. I want to get copper running. Obviously, you need to go into there. That is a straight belt, nice and simple. The other important design principle, let's go with principle. Principle I want to add to anything we're doing right now is currently resources could be coming in, but they're not really doing anything. And if they're not doing anything, it means that a couple of things. One, I'm not spending any power, which is a very, very nice bonus. 2, well, they're not doing anything. And as all the resources are in Satisfactory are infinite, I would like to do something with the resources. So I want to have, off the every single construction line, they always have a switch. So every machine has a switch. I can always turn things off if I don't want them on. I want to be able to have an awesome seek. So we would want to plug you straight into an awesome seek. But I obviously don't want to sink everything. So I would need to put a splitter here, except I want to use a smart splitter. Very, very important to use the smart version, because smart version gives you a couple more options. I would want organization, we'd want industrial storage, which would go, let's say here, it doesn't really matter where it goes. You would plug into there. You would need a dimensional depot on top, obviously, so it can access our inventory. You went to the top belt, of course you did. You need to go to the bottom one, whatever. Logistics, a lift from there to there. And the smart splitter, we would be setting right to anything, and straightforward would be overflow. So the idea being, it will fill up this box. Once this box is full of cable, wire, copper sheets, whatever it happens to be, once the box is full, everything goes off the awesome sink, which means I can print more tickets, because I really want to have more tickets. So that's the design principle when it comes to this section. Also at the same time, we should talk about power really quickly. These are all designed so I can bring power to, you know, here, let's say, and then plug power into here, and then take power into the first node. Have you, ooh, you're at 404, you. Have you power into that node, and have this side power into this side, and it all becomes relatively easy for me to daisy chain power through the system. The only thing I need to do is I need to make sure I get in power from the outside, along with potentially run resources for, well, where they come into our megastructure to elsewhere in the megastructure. We're going to cover that in a bit more depth later. But power, I can run a nipple to the wall. And as you can see, my wall nipples run to the outside as well, which means I can then come down to ground level and then travel along the front. No, front. Please stop that. Okay, fine. Can I? You won't let me copy? Oh, because that's a double. You. There you go. Run to there. Cool. Perfect. So yes, I can run into one of these nipples along the front and just daisy chain power from wherever I need to wherever I need to, and keep most of the wiring on the outside. I'm always going to have wires. I'm always going to have belts running through the place. I'm not one of those people that's pedantic enough to make sure that all my power goes into the floor where you never ever see it, and then you look at the underneath of their factory and you have 101 nipples sticking through the floor. This is from the power. This is from the batteries. The batteries are plugged into the roof because that seemed reasonable. Yeah. But this is how I want to set up the main core design principles. So what I want to do is I want to leave you guys here for 2 seconds. I want to go get copper sorted, and then we can talk about, well, iron, because iron is going to need the exact same treatment. Also, steel is going to need the exact same treatment, and they're going to be different because the resources come in there and they get processed over here, which means I can talk about the next step. Design cup in hand, and as you can see, copper is now running. We're bringing in the resources here. We have our wall nipples set up, which is bringing power to the outside, across, down, over to there, and copper's now up and running. And as I said, we have the sinks at the end. So we are filling up this container, filling up this container, filling up this container. The old one is still running over there, so that needs to be, well, recycled, scrapped, whatever you want to call it. And then that copper that we were mining over there needs to be brought over here via this belt highway. We'll cover the belt highways eventually, just not this episode. Which brings me to my next step. My next steps are, we have, oh, that sulfur belt doesn't actually exist. Yeah. Can you go away? All right, so we obviously have limestone coming in here. We have limestone coming over here that's going off concrete. We're not talking about concrete. I'm not fixing concrete. I'm not destroying concrete. I'm not touching concrete right now. But we also have iron and coal. We have one coal node coming over here along with some sulfur. That's going down and doing our compacted coal setup, which we covered briefly earlier. Where's the power plant? You are doing, yeah, 2,865 megawatts worth of power. So a tiny amount of power, just the smallest amount. Yeah, an awful lot of power, which means we keep the lights on, and that's the important thing. As for our iron and also coal and other things from the top, they're going to come in, well, in the case of the iron, it's going to come in right here. It's then going to lift up to pop through the floor. Once it pops through the floor, we're using, and this is funny because this is something I did. Ooh, update 2. Update 2, I did a design like this where I ran all my belts along the walls, except that was prior to us having wall hangers. So I need to make wall hangers. And now you can just like literally take the belt and it just sticks to the wall. It just makes life so much easier. Anyway, as I was saying, hello? There we go. All right, back into flight mode. So we're going to bring the iron over here. Iron is going to come along the walls because it's just a really convenient way to run the iron. Sure, there might be one that goes up slightly, but that's fine. We can ignore that entirely, or I can fix it later. And we actually have, well, all three of these nodes are 3 pure iron nodes. So they're going to be 240 a piece. We're running one into this smelter, one into that smelter. That gives us, well, 2 lots of 240 iron. The third one, which is another 240 iron, is running over here to our solid steel ingots. So this brings in, you make 30 iron ingots per minute. You've been underclocked to 75% to give us the 30 iron ingots in plus 30 coal, which gives us 45 steel, which is a decent amount of steel to get ourselves started. Obviously, I'm still in the middle of getting everything hooked up. But I want to bring you guys back because I want to talk about recipes. Recipes, things that we still need to automate. So I need to automate screws, obviously. Need to automate iron plate, obviously. Need to automate iron rods, but there is an alternative recipe that we spoke about earlier, which is steel to iron rods. Now, people might say that it's very wasteful because steel is very expensive and very hard to make, whereas iron rods are pretty easy to make, but you use iron rods in a number of things. Not to vast amounts, like technically sort of to vast amounts for the rotors, also the modular frames. We're going to be replacing those with alternative recipes in the future. So chance that you don't use a lot of iron rods, so I don't mind spending a little bit of steel, a tiny bit of steel, 12 per minute to make 48 iron rods. It means, 4 of these or whatever, just max out a belt outright. So we need, like I said, screws, iron plate, iron rods, also quick wire. Quick wire needs to be brought over here. Also need to make steel beams, so steel ingots and steel beams. I don't like this recipe at all. We do have this recipe that I might look at, but I haven't got that far yet because at the moment I want to talk about iron. Also have steel pipe. Steel pipe also has an alternative recipe that I need to look at as well. We also need to do reinforced iron plates, which are going to require iron plates and wire. Modular frames, which is reinforced iron plate and the iron rods. Also encased industrial beams, which is industrial beams and concrete. You're another encased industrial beams. Okay, I have too many machines, so you can go in. Have AI limiters. AI limiters requires that I get copper. I get quick wire over here and then just add some copper sheets to it. And we also have rotors, stators, and motors. Yeah. So this is what I need to automate. So what I want to do is I want to talk about, iron next. Iron should be, you guys are going to be in my way. Can you go away? And can you go away? And can I have that floor tile back? Just rotate. Thank you. All right. Iron should be easy. Iron should be, again, blueprints. We should be able to get the 12 assemblers. Make sure that we have T to hide the HUD so we can have a bit better idea of what's going where. I need you lined up about there. Can I hit the H button so you're locked in place? So I have at least about a 3 foundation gap. And you should be, well, technically we only have iron ingots going to 2 different things. You should be plates. You should be cast screws. So cast screws is iron ingots straight 2 screws. We get to skip the rod stage. And you're going to be, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, double 240 iron plates. You are going to be screws at 50 per minute. So that's 100, 200, 300. This is in theory capable of doing 600, except I definitely can't run 600 on a belt. So it probably means I need to split this in half and just remove half it. But, that's a later thing. And same story. This should be as easy as have you come up to there and straight to there. And then, of course, I didn't really think this through, and that's wrong height anyway, but like I said, it's all temporary. We're going to remove all of it in a minute. I should have maybe put this just over the right a little bit so I could plug that belt right in there. Doesn't matter. Actually, you go there. Yeah, you should definitely slid to the right just a little bit. Can I do you to here? Does that work? That does work. Well, that's a very easy answer. Yeah, I just need to slide everything to the right 2 tiles. But I want to get iron set up. I want to get iron set up at the same time. I also want to get, well, like I said, the quick wire set up. So I need to get quick wire over here. I need to put down a Caterium smelter, which means I need to grab that Caterium and bring that across. Probably also upgrade as miner at the same stage. And in the grand list of things that the assemblers can do, can I have my designer cup, please? Thank you. In the grand list of the things that that we need to do, okay, we have the alternative for stitched iron plate, which is iron and copper. Now, if I'm about to automate iron plates, I already have wire automated, then I should be able to get this one built. And as we have blueprints to sort of quickly and rapidly build a lot of these things, this should be very quick and easy to do. Modular frames, same story. Reinforced iron plates, I need to automate them. We're going to use the stitch plate that I just mentioned. Iron rods will require us to set up steel. Steel's already technically running, so that should be dead easy. Rotors, stators, and motors, I want to roll some alternative recipes, which also means that I need to go for a bit of a wander out to the wilderness and see what goodies I can find. But yes, I want to set up, well, iron and also technically steel. Steel is, well, either the normal recipes or the alternative recipes. I'm not sure which one I'm going to go with at the moment. Like I said, the alternatives you need concrete, and I sort of have a lot of that there. So give me a sec to go grab that Caterium, drag the Caterium over here. At the same time, we can then look at one of the other ways I'm moving resources around the place, and well, we can see exactly how the Caterium smelter is gonna look like. So it looks like this perfectly. We have Caterium coming in here. This one's a little bit different. It's 45 in and 15 out, which means 45, 90, 180, 180, 270, 360, 405. So Caterium's a little bit different, which means, you know, generally you want to turn off some of these because, well, you're not going to be bringing in any faster than probably the 240 node that's outputting. But Caterium's going to come in here. It's only has one purpose currently, and that is to get converted into quick wire. Quick wire is 12 Caterium in with 60 out, which means this is absolutely flooded. It cannot output nearly fast enough, but it is storing up, well, all the Caterium wire we can. Again, going through a smart splitter, so the center's the overflow, which means the points are not really going up yet, but they're going to start skyrocketing as we start, well, filling up different storage containers, and that's going off to the next production lines. At the same time, I want to come over here and talk about a little bit more about, well, the iron. We'll show you guys how the iron came out, also how the steel came out, and what's next. So we have iron plates obviously here, producing a whole lot of iron plates. They're passing straight the way through. I don't actually have enough iron ore currently with just one smelter running, so I need to plug in the other smelter. We'll get to the other smelter later to do the iron plates, but screws are great. We have far too many screws. Again, same story. None of these machines can run. In fact, a lot of machines can't run most of the time, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not worried about, as I said earlier, trying to make things that are balanced at this stage. I just need to make sure that everything we had previously, we now have over here, which means I can recycle everything we had over there previously and bring those raw resources over here eventually to turn them into something newer, something greater, something more like phase 2 and phase 3. Well, assembly phase 2 and phase 3. But yes, screws are going into the box. The box is full. The dimensional depot is full. And that means all the screws are just going in here and getting turned directly into points. Not a lot of points, but some points. Iron is slowly filling up. And then besides that, we have, well, the start of steel. So we are making steel ingots here with our, well, solid steel ingot recipe. So you guys are doing 45, 90, 135 doubled, 270. So this is a 270 belt already. Well, 270 output, which is being merged with another 270. I know, don't get to me. I'm going to fix things bit by bit. At the moment, I just need things running. You are making steel beams. Steel beams is 60 ingots in for 15 beams out, which brings me to the first problem I have, and that is, well, I never have any steel beams. Ever have any steel beams. Never, ever do they exist. We have pipes right beside that. Pipes is only a half build, because generally I find I don't go through as many pipes. Also, it's 30 ingots in for 20 pipes out, so it's a much better ratio than compared to our steel beams. Actually, no, these are all half builds. Yes, I put down the full double and then deleted half of them because well, steel's a little bit more precious. Iron rods made from steel we have right here. Same story, but there's an awful lot of them. And then we're sinking the excess, but I'm short on, well, technically I'm short on steel because some of it is disappearing into that. So this is the best part about these systems. I can just turn you off. That means this belt's going to stop. That means the iron rods will stop consuming steel unless I'm using iron rods, at which point that puts more steel ingot pressure over here to get these guys running. But I also need to talk about the stuff over the back, because now we have copper running, we have iron plates running. It means that we get a couple more things or automated and optimized. So right here we have AI limiters from copper sheet and quickwire. Quickwire belt is running as fast as possible, and this is making us a whole bunch of AI limiters. These need 100 each machine. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously, again, same story. The belts only move 270. I could, you know, delete half this build, delete half this build, swap it over to, well, put another build right beside it, delete half that build as well, put half the ingots into one, half the ingots to the other, just because of the sheer amount of quick wire that's output from these. I could, you know, cut the belt in half like so, and put in a logistics, a lift, and just bring that out above. And I could, well, apart from, you know, I need to have somewhere for you to land. Like, come on, please behave, game, behave. I want to go right there. Oh, so this is why I don't do a lot of things live. Satisfactory just has its moments. And you're not going to line up. You're going to be at an angle, and there you go. You now line up. So I could split the build in two. I could have 2 lines of Caterium wire coming out and run that into, well, technically run that straight into, okay, what happens if I go that way? Can you give me a better curve? Almost. Yeah, if that was a bit more further forwards, you know, they'd line up with one another, things would be maculous. What the hell is that? That is your foot. Why is your foot hover? Okay, so as I was saying, I lost my coffee cup. I hit a belt. It's a feature of the game. All right, so as I was saying, we're running AI limiters. I need to get AI limiters running eventually. They were being used for smart splitters. Smart splitters use AI controller for every single one I put down. And as you can see, I'm using more and more of them. The copper sheets need to be rearranged and put out of the way. So do the Caterium. We're going to talk about that just in a second. Probably with this build. So this build is my reinforced iron plates, which is iron plates and wire in. Now we have iron plates over here. Well, I have wire right here, so it was a case of just plug the two together. Again, you need to have 37.5 per minute, which means I can feed this at full speed, which means we're making 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 and change. Probably 26, 27 reinforced iron plates per minute. So we are doing decent production of iron plates, reinforced iron plates right here. But there's definitely some tidy up to do, and tidying up is one of the things that happens between me getting things hooked together. But I hook things together horribly to start with, and then come back and tidy up later. But as I was saying, we also have reinforced iron plates here because we now have modular frames. Modular frames here because I'm making reinforced iron plates. That's coming out the back, and you may notice it just disappears underground. And the reason for that is, well, this is how I'm doing a lot of the belts. I'm doing a lot of the belts by hiding them where you don't see them. A lot of people do this. They put in a fake floor, and they'll have a, you know, a 4-meter gap, a 6-meter gap, 7-meter gap, whatever it is, to just run everything underneath, and then build it up from the floor using, you know, your general stackable conveyor poles. Because this floor has intentionally been so high to make sure that our coal generators would fit, also refineries when we get to them, I haven't bothered with a fake floor. We're just going to run the belts here. But I'm going to have to try to keep them reasonably neat, reasonably straight lines, but so far it's going well. We'll see how it works long term. Anyway, after I smash my head on that, so we have the modular frames are also being built. Again, same story, put into a box. put into a box, and then immediately flow out of a box because they're heading over here to the versatile framework because I still need to make 1,000 of those. And that's what I was in the middle of doing when I decided to come back for this particular bit and piece. Okay, so we have iron, we have sticks, we have steel, we have pipes, and you needed, what was it? Beams, right? Steel beams, yep. So steel beams are here. We have a splitter here, which is then going to bring them underground. And can I just... It's this belt, yeah. So you go here. Not quite straight. Not quite straight. No, they definitely don't line up with one another. Okay, so you would be half a tile over. So this is why we can rearrange things quickly and easily before they are cemented in place. You go there, you go there, you go there. Can I get a splitter? Which is going to go here. Can I remove that belt? Can I run that belt into there? Can I run a lift? And this is one of those things, because I'm using conveyor holes, the lifts don't know which way to travel. So as we can see, that's a green arrow facing green arrow, which is a boo-boo. Even though it's all green, it does not mean it's good. But if I press R, that'll reverse it. Also, it gives me that extra tick, which means it's actually going to plug in. And now I should be able to go from you up. Helps if I put in that end as well. You're also, no, you're building the correct way. And belts. Dead straight. Perfect. All right, so that should bring steel beams out and head over here to start making a versatile framework. Versatile framework is going to need a box, but because this is for the space elevator, I'm not going to bother with sinking it or put it in dimensional portal. There's no point. It's only going to be used for space elevator for now. I know it's used in later recipes later, but that's a later problem. Still need to make encased industrial beams, but there's a couple of things that, well, I also need to do rotors and stators and motors, but I'm still looking for some alternative recipes for those. Need to do smart plating, versatile framework we just completed, and your automated wiring, which I need to do, but I haven't done stators yet because I'm waiting on recipes. But one recipe we do have, no, it's not in there. It's inside a foundry. In a foundry is the molded beam, which is an awful lot of ingots in for an awful lot of steam belts, steam beams out. But as we can see, if we open in Codex, this is 4 to 1. This is 24 to 9. So if we take 24 divided by 4, we'd normally get 6 if we were using the original, recipe. I'm going to get 9 instead. So I'm going to get an extra 3 at the cost of, well, a little bit of concrete. I have, I have a pure concrete node here. I have another pure node here. I also happen to have, as you can see, a full 270 belt of concrete already made and coming in, and that's heading off that way. Also, I have another concrete belt, another 270 belt all the way over there coming in as well, and I also have more limestone coming in on site. It's another 240, 240, and 120 belt from memory. I haven't got around to marking belts, so we'll talk about that when it happens. Also coming in. So I'm thinking we're going to be changing up a couple of different recipes to these ones. But in the meantime, I am still... Where's my man? I'm still hunting hard drives. No hard drives. Did I put them in here? I don't even have any. Okay. I need to go off and need to hunt more hard drives. I need to hunt more hard drives because I want to... Where are you? I want to do... I have the copper rotor, but I want a... Yeah, I have the copper rotor, which is screws and copper sheets, but I want a different recipe. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. Right-click, open Codex. This recipe. I want this recipe unlocked so we can set up rotors. Also, you have an alternate from memory? Stators. Yeah, you have an alternate recipe as well. So I have a couple of recipes to unlock, which means I'm going to go off hunting bits and pieces. Also, as you see, a new section of a belt highway has gone in. Or again, we're going to talk about the belt highway. Maybe that'll be the next episode. We'll see. There's a lot of things I want to squeeze into today's episode. But the belt highway is to bring the old resources from over our starter base, because the copper... I can't see the resource on the map. The copper that we're using, we're not using it over here. The copper's not being used. The iron's not being used. The limestone's technically being turned into cement on site and then being belted across. The Caterium's being brought in directly. Oh, Caterium. Caterium comes in, much like the other resource, they come in through wherever they happen to land and then come through a wall socket. What's this called? It's called a conveyor wall. Comes through a conveyor wall and then just hangs along the bottom until it gets to, well, the spot where it needs to be smelted, and then pops up through the floor and heads into the smelter. Probably in hindsight, I probably should need to move this over here so it plugs in directly rather than across the top, but whatever, it's done for now. But yes, I need to grab the existing resources, bring them over here. Also, I still need to do the automated wiring. I need to change over the steel, and I need to go hunting for not so much slugs. Slugs we're pretty good on. Not that I've started overclocking anything yet, but I still need more spheres. I'm out of spheres in the network, and what's the other one? Sloops. I have 8 sloops. So I have definite things to do. Also, I can bring back more friends. I only have a couple of friends currently. We have a fox. We have a Becky, and where are you? Sit down as always. Yep. And they're bringing back goodies occasionally. Yep. But like I said, there's more to do. So let me change over the steel recipe. Let's see whether we can get the last recipes unlocked. So I find those hard drives, and then I think I'm in a state where I have everything we had previously completely automated right here. Hi, doggo. Oh look, pulse nobelisks. You're bringing me explosives. Okay. Good doggo. Yeah. All right. Back to the coffee cup and design. So it's finally done. Whoop. Oh, I lost my coffee cup. It's all right. This is what happens when you fly around. Lost my coffee cup, but everything is fine. But everything is now automated. So we're back at the point where we were originally in the starter base before we moved to the giant, well, concrete jungle, flat concrete, very flat concrete. All right. We have encased industrial beams using the steel pipe recipe because, well, steel pipes are much cheaper for me to make than normal steel beams. So we're doing them with steel pipes instead. As long as that's steel encased in something, I'm perfectly happy. Right here we have our, what are you called? Versatile framework. So we need 1,000 of those to complete phase 2. We have 2,500 of them, so that's good. That's done. We have encased industrial beams going here, which is going to be good because they're going to be for T4 belt. T4 belt is next on the list. Finally got the alternative recipes I needed for rotors. So rotors need to have, well, steel pipes and wire, because wire is one of those items that we go from 15 to 30 when we move it along a belt. We're moving the copper ingots directly here and then feeding them directly in the machine. Same goes for status. Status, we have basically an identical recipe, slightly different ratios, but basically identical. I've had to downclock to 75%, and you clock at 100%. Because you need a normal clock speed, 40 wire. We only make 75 in a machine. 75. We only make 35 in a 30 in a machine, which means I've just underclocked these slightly. And this is why I haven't been worried about ratios and stuff up until now, and we'll worry about ratios probably going forth, because from now on we're going to be sort of making dedicated builds to do dedicated things. For now, I can just underclock where appropriate or overclock where appropriate. We haven't gotten overclocking. That's going to be future. All right. We also have motors up and running. Motors going to be very, very important when we start unlocking the next stage. And then finally, I have automated wiring over here, which we need 100 for phase 2. Oh, you don't need a dimensional portal in the slightest. Okay, force of habit, I guess. And you go there and you go there. And we have 585 in stock. Yeah, so everything is unlocked, everything is up and running. There are definitely some teething issues that I need to work out. Like things like there's not enough iron coming in here. As you can see, there are messy splits to fill up belts and all sorts of things. There's not enough iron ore coming in. We have 3 pure nodes and they're all being used. But now with everything physically being automated here, the only thing that's not over here currently is in this machine over here. That's what's sitting here to remind me is smart plating. But smart plating is used later on as an ingredient for a further item inside phase 3. So when that happens, we'll worry about actually getting that automated for that particular build. But yes, now that everything's been moved over, we're at the same point we were originally. I can now grab all the old resources that we were not using, put them on the great belt highways. Again, we'll cover that maybe the next episode, maybe the next episode, maybe the next episode we'll cover the belt highways. Bring those resources over here and then feed them into lines that are struggling, like, you know, the steel lines that don't have enough iron ore. Speaking of not having enough things, we didn't have enough. Oh, okay. I didn't have enough power, so we've brought over actually the sulfur. The sulfur from our, well, it wasn't really near our starter area. It was all the way over here. It had already been belted this far. No, belted to the hub. It's already been belted from here to the hub. It's now been further belted on the highway to all the way over here. And it gave us another 60 sulfur, so we can make just a little bit more compacted coal. But now it means we have 41 coal power plants burning an awful lot of coal to give us an awful lot of capacity. Technically, the max consumption is above the max capacity, but as you can see, because I haven't been worried about ratios, there's a lot of machines that will just never have resources to run, so I'm not too worried about it. Also, there are machines like, you know, this one. It's making black powder. Again, bad example. Black powder's not full. Making nobelisks. Nobelisks are not quite full yet, but as soon as this fills up, this will stop running. There's, you know, all these machines. They don't actually get fed. Oh no, they're all switched off. They're all switched off. Every single one of these has been switched off, so I think they still count towards the total maximum production, even though that's a nice little grid. That got turned off. Even though they're never, you know, they still get counted towards the max consumption, even though they're not show. If all the machines on the grid were active, they've been physically switched off, so they can't actually consume power at all. But power's fine for the moment. We've put in some batteries because why the hell not? Might as well put down some batteries whilst we can and charge them up. As you can see, they're going to be charged real soon, but it is 7.7 megawatt hours. So that's 7,700 megawatt hours, which is 7.7 gigawatt hours. So it's enough to keep the grid running for, once fully charged, you know, 2 hours plus on just batteries once they're fully charged. Anyway, this is where we're up to for right now. Next episode is going to be the BAM. The BAM, there is a number of hard drives we need to talk through. There is a number of researches I want to do. Want to get a whole lot done in the Caterium tree, quartz tree, sulfur tree. Also, the hub's not here. The hub's not here. Also need to bring the hub over here because I need to unlock, well, I need to complete this phase. So we're going to do that in the next episode and jump into tiers 5 and 6. So that's all going to be in the very next episode, which means I need to leave this video here. I need to invite you guys back for the next episode. Next episode, there's going to be a whole lot more to do, whole lot more to automate, whole lot more things to unlock. And also it's where we get to trains, which means less belt highways, less long distance belt highways, There'll still be short ones, but less long distance ones. Anyway, we're going to have to talk about that and a whole lot more in the next episode. Either way, I need to leave this video here. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you've enjoyed, and I invite you back for the next episode. Or you can come and join me for live streams. Live streams where, well, all the looting and scooting, finding Mercer spheres, spheres, oh, and loops. We also have enough of loops. So I need to unlock the alien technology. We need to do some work in the alien technology tree in the next episode as well. There's a lot to happen. Anyway, like I said, need to call it here. Come join me for live streams either here on YouTube or on Twitch, whichever you prefer. They happen every day of the week, just about. And, well, actually, there is a stream every day of the week. And with all that said and done, I'm going to call this video here. As I said, thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. And I'll see you in the very next video. All right, bye.